What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Charm Steady Heavyweights podcast brought to you by Great Eights Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is my co host, Josh Merrill, and it is a Victory Sunday uh, Ravens and
A-
Texans recap show.
AFC Championship. Excuse me, I'm coughing.
Yeah.
AFC Championship. It's been 12 years. Exactly what I said to the Texans, dude. I said, I appreciate your optimism. You guys are going to be in the game till halftime. Then we're just going to take over. The Ravens were outmatched them. It's pretty cool to see, man. It's really cool to see. I'm watching this game closely to see who we're going to play.
This is the first AFC Championship game hosted in Baltimore in 53 years. It hasn't been since the Baltimore Colts were still in town. We are, headed to the AFC Championship. It's coming through M&T Bank. Both of these teams right now are battling to get to the bank, and both of their defenses suck from what we've seen so far tonight. I mean, the offenses can score.
Kansas City
is
surprising me because their defense has been like legit this year. So,
and they've been giving up. They can't hold water right now.
nope.
But we had I'll give it to you, man. You were absolutely right. We got that rust, not the rust off in the first half. The offense looked a little stagnant. The defense, been not breaking.
Lamar was holding the ball too long.
You can say what you want at this point, but you're right.
He was.
He was holding on the ball a little bit. He was definitely holding the ball a little bit longer than he should have. But I don't know what was said at the halftime, period where they went into the locker room and regrouped. But the coaching staff made the adjustments. They came out and they were simple. They came out. They made a lot of quick.
Well, apparently Lamar gave a speech and pretty much told everybody to get their shit together.
Yeah, and that's what you need out of your quarterback. I'm happy that he is leading this team. He looked highly efficient. Like the rust was just knocked off after the half.
It's because he started getting rid of the ball like 2 seconds faster.
Yeah, and the defense, they were stout as could be. They gave up 3 points. The lone touchdown came on a punt return. The punting team did not look good. Jordan Stout had a very bad game. He had a couple of bad punts. He was saved on one of those punts by a 10-yard holding penalty. But needless to say, we are 1 week away from hosting either Kansas City or Buffalo. And
I'm looking forward to it, man. We've never seen this in our lifetime. We've seen them win a ring, get 2 rings, but never. We've always had to go on the road to get there, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. I watching the game last night. My father-in-law, Mark, he had a great observation. He said that this second half team that played last night, nobody can hang with them. That defense was smothering. The offense was clicking on all cylinders. I don't care what anybody throws at us. This defense is hard hitting, and they didn't even sack Stroud. They just put immense pressure on him last night, and
he was never comfortable. Not even for a little bit. I mean, look, take away that kick return, their offense did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and he was rattled. He was absolutely 100% rattled. He didn't look comfortable at all. He couldn't plant and throw. Their tight end Dalton Schultz did a little bit of damage against us, on the sidelines. With a few catches. Nico Collins was relatively quiet.
And that's really all they have, and that was my point at the pre-show. That's really all they have. You take away their running game, he really only has 2 guys he throws to, Collins and the white dude, Schultz.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say. You take and that's what we did. We didn't let neither one of those guys kill us. Yeah, the white guy Schultz was getting on our nerves, but he didn't hurt us in any way. But CJ Stroud, if I'm a Texans fan, you guys had a hell of a ride. Asking him to come in here and get a win was damn near impossible. It wasn't going to happen. I had this comfortable feeling. I was really nervous before the game, and even though we were tied at half, for whatever reason, I had this very comfortable, relaxed feeling. I'm sure a lot of people were going, "Oh my God, 2019 is happening." But
that was me.
I didn't go there. I don't know why. I just felt like this was a different team. I felt like Lamar's older. I felt like he's not gonna roll over this year. He's not gonna be denied. And I wasn't worried, man. I wasn't. And all year, one of the reason why the Ravens were in the position we're in when the number one seed is because all year we've made critical adjustments at halftime. So why shouldn't this game be any different? What did we do? Lamar starts getting rid of the ball a lot faster. We stop trying to, go down the field 70 yards like we were the entire first half because I think we were really trying to get a lead on them. We knew we had a lot more talent and we were just trying to get up on them, taking shots down the field. Second half, we just started taking what they gave us. They were blitzing the shit out of Lamar in the first half, and there's no way we could have survived if we would have kept going down that road. But they got rid of the ball faster, man, and he was taking what they were giving us. And then all of a sudden the run game starts working. Then all of a sudden the defense is on their heels, and they're not sending a zero blitz, every few downs. So that's why I didn't have that knot in my stomach. Now, if we would have came out in the third quarter and if we didn't drive down and get points, then that knot maybe have started to come along. But I just wasn't afraid. Just wasn't. Why were you afraid?
See, now, I'll be honest. I had the exact opposite feeling that you had going into the game. I was nice and calm. I wasn't nervous. I thought that we, were going to come out ready to play, and then the first half starts, and they're hanging around, they're hanging tough, and I'm looking at this game like, okay, it's 7-3, 10-3. Then the punt return touchdown. I'm like, we're letting these dudes hang around. I was like, holy fuck, this is 19 all over again. If we come out flat in the second half, we're done. We're doomed. Like this, I have like that pit in my stomach. Like this is not happening all over again. We sat through this shit 4 goddamn years ago, and I wasn't losing faith by any means, but I just had that eerie feeling like I know this. I've seen this type of thing play out before, and when they missed a field goal right before halftime, I was like, you know what? We avoided a catastrophe right there, going down in the before half, and then when we came out in the second half, whatever was said by Lamar, and we went right down the field, marched down the field, and we had one of those classic Raven drives where it was like 6 or 7 minutes of the game time, but in real life, in real time, it was close to 20 minutes of that defense for Houston being on the field, and we scored, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I can see that this is going to be one of those. We're going to start imposing our will, and then once we went up 2 touchdowns, I was like, yeah, this game's over.
We've been doing that a lot this year, man. The second half, we just start rolling.
That's I know that we do, and I'm okay with that. But in the same breath, the regular season is different because there's a next week, or there's
that's very true.
A chance to redeem ourselves and get back on track. There's no next week right now in playoff football. It's win or go home.
Yeah.
And seeing how Lamar just took the game over, if he didn't cement his MVP status the last month of the season, he cemented it yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a done deal. Yeah, I think that's done anyway. Yeah. I think even if he would have been knocked out yesterday, he still would have got that.
And, the 100 rushing yards on 11 attempts, the 2 rushing touchdowns, the 160 yards in the air. I don't care about him not throwing for 200, 300 yards. He put the team on his back. He made plays when it mattered. I don't care how we got it done. The dude is on a mission, and it's clear. He is absolutely on a mission. Every guy on this team is playing for him right now. And on the defensive side of the ball, they all gravitate towards Roquan.
Absolutely.
This is a different team. I don't care who we play next week. They're going to have a hard time coming in here. That entire stadium was rocking, and how loud they get. I know it's a difference when it's
imagine next week, bro. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Absolutely, it's going to be crazy. But if we get Allen, he's who he is. I think he's not a good quarterback to me. I can go on a 20-minute diatribe about that. But Mahomes has
diatribe.
He's got Mahomes has got two Super Bowls already, two Super Bowl MVPs. He can withstand that type of thing. So that's it all depends on who we get is my level of concern. But I think that both of those teams can't hang with our defense. Like our defense is physical, they're fast. I want to give a shout out on the defensive side of the ball. Ronald Darby played another hell of a game yesterday.
Sure did.
Dude filled in admirably for Marlon Humphrey. And that's what people are like forgetting about. We did this yesterday with no Mark Andrews and no Marlon Humphrey. Yeah. And when these guys get back,
this team has evolved, man. We have evolved. I'm kind of like Likely is rolling. You can't take Likely out of there, man.
No,
look, Likely got benched for a while because he was bad at blocking. And I am not saying take Mark Andrews that Likely is better. I'm not saying that, but Likely and Lamar have a really hot thing going. All I'm saying is when Mark does come back, if he does come back for the AFC Championship, you cannot forget about Isaiah Likely because he's helped carry this team as well.
Isaiah Likely is the most efficient in the red zone out of all of our pass catching options. He has
Absolutely.
6 touchdowns. In the last 7 games, he has 6 touchdowns. Ever since Mark Andrews went on the shelf, he has 6 touchdown catches, and he is a vital piece. He goes up and gets the ball. He's a mismatch against. He's too fast for linebackers. He's too physical for cornerbacks. Safeties, he's jumping over safeties to make plays. The dude's making a hell of a catch. It seems like
and he's getting better at blocking. He's not there yet, but he's getting better, man.
You know who's getting pretty good at blocking is Kohler. Charlie Kohler's earning himself a spot on this team as well. And
he sure is.
I like how Kohler's been looking. He can catch the ball when needed, as well. But he's a good blocking tight end.
Did you see Lamar getting Stanley's ass, man, on national TV?
Yes.
But then 2 plays later, he's loving and hugging him, and that's what.
Well, because he made an insane block.
He did
that. So
he did.
It's like Lamar jumped in his ass. He made a play, and then the camera panned to them on the sideline after the touchdown.
Oh, they were all together,
hugging it out, and yeah. So
Stanley didn't even argue with him, bro. He just turned his head and went back. Like, I know, like he just ate it, and that's what he should have done in that situation.
And Stanley's run blocking has gotten to be his best asset as an offensive lineman.
He's dominant at it, man. When they leave him out in space and it's just him one-on-one, he always wins. Every single time, dude. Every single time. And that's not an easy thing to do for a lineman to be out in space like that, man.
Mm-hmm. So. And I want to give another shout out on the offense. Patrick McCary, he filled in for Stanley a couple series, and he held his own. I didn't even realize he was out there until I saw him walking back to the huddle. There was no fall off against that young team. That entire team, they're young. The Houston Texans are young. They're going to be a good team for a long time, and I have no doubt about it that we'll probably see them again in the playoffs.
Absolutely
for the next couple of years. But they made a lot of mistakes yesterday. That was a mistake-laden football team between
they're a young team, man. That's what I was saying before the game. It was asking a lot for them coming in here. I know Flacco did it back in the day, his rookie year, and Harbaugh when we went into Tennessee and knocked out the number 1 seed. But Flacco also had Ray Lewis, had Reed. Derek. He had a lot of big-time veterans on that team. To ask C.J. Stroud to do that, man, it was damn near impossible. They can say what they want. I don't think they expect the guy here with a win. They weren't ready. They're young. They said the crowd didn't affect them, but I don't know how many false starts they had. But that was the most flags I've ever seen.
Encroachment.
It was everything.
They weren't settled at the line.
No.
We played relatively mistake-free football. I don't remember really Lamar having maybe that first pass to Likely in the end zone where he put it a little bit low. Other than that, Lamar didn't make a bad throw last night.
No, he didn't. He was on the money.
He was highly efficient again. He was moving the chains. Odell Beckham had a good catch early on, and then I saw people on social media saying like, "Where's Odell?" The whole entire game
He's
plan
doing what
changed
we need to
in the
do.
second half
Yeah.
to where
Yeah.
the entire game plan changed in the second half. We went out there. We were doing quick pop passes. We were doing letting Lamar get the ball out early, and then we were running
Yep.
the ball. Justice
Yep.
Hill, Dalvin Cook's first carry as a Raven, he went 23 yards. So
He did.
to me, you got all three of those guys running hard for you, and then Lamar is doing work on the ground himself. What's the point? Why do you need to throw the ball 45, 50 times when you're
You don't.
imposing your will? You're tiring this defense out, and they're gasping for air. It was 13 degrees with the wind chill at kickoff, and it was 7 degrees wind chill by the fourth quarter. Those dudes were holding on for dear life, and we ran the ball down their throats. Almost 300 rushing yards. I know it was over
Yep.
200, almost 250, something like that. So you got all that going. Well, who cares? Who cares if
That's what
Odell
we've been
doesn't see
doing
a
this
pass in the
season,
second
dude.
half?
We took their will. We've been doing it all year. I told you guys at the pregame show we're going to take their will at halftime. We've been doing it all season. You've seen the will come off of all their faces, man. Once they
And
realize the dominant force that we are, once that beast awakens, there's no stopping it. And like I said, the only way this season doesn't end with Lamar holding that trophy up is if we self-implode. No team can knock us off course except us.
And I watched all the football games this weekend. Kansas City and Buffalo, they're going to be tough, but I don't think they're going to be an issue the way that they have been in years past. This is a different team.
Not at home.
Detroit, they struggled against Tampa Bay to get that win. And then
if we get to the Super Bowl, we've blown out both teams that we're going to face. So, I'm not saying we're going to blow them out in the Super Bowl.
They didn't win the game until the last 2 minutes last night.
I know. Jordan Love is that's another young fella that's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
He made us
another
stupid,
great quarterback.
a stupid young quarterback throw to end the game, but he's going to be legit, man. He's big too.
Yep, I'm telling you what, man. We look like the most well-rounded and efficient football team from top to bottom that's still left. And I'm not saying that because that's our team. You can ask anybody else right now who's the most, physically gifted and well-rounded team right now. It's the Baltimore Ravens, and it's not close. You can't find anybody that can match up with what we got going on.
You're right.
I'm a firm believer that this is a team of destiny. I'm a reference something we talked about, Josh, back after in the Los Angeles Rams post-game show. That was a marquee win that separates us from, being a good team to being a great team. I know we blew out Detroit. I know we blew out Seattle. I know we blew out San Francisco and Miami. I'm not, those were all good wins, great wins. But that hard-fought physical team, which is the Los Angeles Rams, we beat them in overtime. That was our 4th and 29. That was our marquee win that's going to define this whole run. And I still stand true to that now, 6 weeks later. We are a team of destiny. And like you said a couple minutes ago, the only people that can beat us are us.
Absolutely.
Lamar wants this. I don't care what anybody says. Lamar Jackson wants the Super Bowl. He is hungry for it. He wants it bad because here's something that people don't realize. This is the last time this team is going to be together in this form with the players that we got now. Who knows what this team is going to look like going forward with the contracts that are due.
There's a lot of dudes may not be here, man. It might be a completely different team next year.
It might be a completely different football team. So these guys are enjoying the ride now, but they all want a ring. There's not many guys on this team that have a ring other than Justin Tucker.
Van Noy has one.
Odell has one, but they were in different places. I'm saying there's one Raven on this football team that has a ring from the last team that was here, and that's Justin Tucker when he was a rookie.
Sure.
So I'm I'm of the sound mind that he is so locked in, and these guys are ready to just play football. I don't care who they play at this point because it's going to be hard to come here.
No, they gotta
Whether
stay focused.
they got. Oh, but the thing is that you saw how focused they were from the layoff that they had. They didn't play in the wild card round. Most of the starters didn't play in
For
the
3 weeks.
week for 3 weeks. So they had a 20-day layoff, and they were a little rusty. That first half was to knock the rust off, but they came out and they were clicking on all cylinders. It looked like they didn't miss a beat. So now that they got this game under them, they dominated the Houston Texans. Now there's blood in the water because both of the teams that are playing right now, they're banged up. They're going through a war with each other. And now you got to see the number one defense in the entire NFL next week in Baltimore. Good luck. It's going to be very tough for either one of these teams to come in here and do some damage. Especially if we get Marlowe back in that secondary, that'll shore things up. We don't have to see Rock Ya-Sin on the field. Millette played another great game yesterday. I like how the defense played. The line was aggressive. The defensive line was aggressive. Jadeveon Clowney was hyped playing against the team that drafted him number 1 overall. Matt Abike was causing havoc. Pierce is out there balling. Travis Jones
Broderick
made a couple plays.
Washington was around. Yeah, Broderick was making plays.
Broderick hit Stroud a couple times. He was this close to a second a couple times. I know we've been talking about a lot though, but what is the biggest takeaway that you saw without looking at the film? What was the most noticeable thing that we haven't talked about yet that you saw from this team?
Nothing, man. They took over the game. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They dominated the defensive line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They just dominated the line of scrimmage, and it was the difference in the game. It's what we thought was going to happen. There's nothing, man. The only negative from the game that I can take away is whoever the fuck told Harbaugh to throw the challenge flag again. Like, them people need to be fired, man. Like, and you could see him screaming on the headset, like, after, like, are you effing kidding me? Because they must have said, oh, shit, we're sorry, we were wrong. Like, what? Why is this only happening to us, man? Like, what is going on with that situation?
So whoever's in his ear is not doing their job. And one of our followers, Kenny, the Bills just lost them a field goal. Are you? I don't have a TV in the basement, so Josh that should be.
I'm watching it. There's a minute 43 left.
Oh, okay.
Man,
I just don't want to see Taylor Swift in our stadium next weekend if I don't have to. Holy shit!
No, yeah, because I don't want all the drama with it, man. All the shit. I don't know. I'd rather not.
I do want to touch on something Brendan Smith said. Brendan, thanks for tuning in and commenting, brother. The switch in the second half to the short passing game was crucial. It was because it got Lamar's confidence back. He was finding a rhythm. And then when the short passing game wasn't working, we reverted to the running game. He started getting first downs with his feet. He had a couple of designed quarterback power plays. I liked it. I thought that the second half, like Joel said earlier in the comments, that the play calling was immaculate, and I do agree. Monken called a hell of a game in the second half. I like seeing Dalvin Cook there, and I was telling the guys, Josh, in the group chat with Ryan and Brian, the way that they're running right now, I think Dalvin might be one of our premier backs come Super Bowl Sunday. I can see him getting more and more touches. He had, I think, 33, 34 yards on 4 or 5 carries.
Yeah, but they're not going to take touches away from Gus and Hill. He only got that many touches because Gus kind of dinged his leg up a little bit. I wouldn't think so, man.
I mean,
he wasn't touching the field until Gus got hurt.
But the thing is, though, when he came in, he made the most of his opportunity. He is definitely.
You're gonna take carries away from Gus. I mean, somebody would have to lose time if he's going to be the guy. Somebody would have to lose time.
If you take away carries from anybody, I'm not saying you take them away from Justice necessarily, but
because Justice is running like a madman right now.
He is, but if you're going to take him
Justice
away from anybody,
was another guy that took over the game yesterday as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know, man.
his pass catching was on full display yesterday.
We're playing the Chiefs.
Yep, Kansas City.
Yep.
You know, Patrick Mahomes
See, I
is
got
coming
the
to the bank.
sound off, man. They were right because all they had to do was kneel it, but I got the sound off, so I can't really feel like what's happening. But they
If
just kneeled it. Yeah, we play. It's Chiefs Ravens next Sunday at 3:00.
it's gonna be a battle.
He's got to get through Mahomes, man. I told you at the beginning of the playoffs. I said I got a feeling it's coming down to Mahomes. So he's got to get through him to get there, and that's how it's playing out. It was kind of like Joe
Yeah,
had to get through Brady. Joe had to get through Peyton, and
Joe got through Brady, Peyton, Luck, all
yes,
in
he
one,
did
all
trifecta.
in one postseason.
But his big thing was getting past Brady in the postseason. You know, he had beat him before, but come on now, he's got to get through Mahomes. Let's stop
B.
comparing
Mitch
Joe to Dan
says,
Lamar.
yeah. Brandon says, chess not checkers. They put fresh legs Dalvin in on an exhausted defense in the fourth quarter. That's hell. You know what? That might be true. Dalvin's got the least wear and tear out of all of our running backs from the simple fact that he really didn't get a whole lot of playing time in New York, and I don't think he wanted to play behind that offensive line. This offensive line is a road grading machine. They weren't getting beat hardly at all, which is crazy because we always talk about the offensive line, somebody getting beat on or beat for Lamar wasn't really getting hit. I don't think they really had a whole lot of sacks against our offensive line yesterday. It's it's crazy, man, how this offensive line at this point in the year they're more cohesive than they've been all season long. They're healthy first and foremost, but Morgan Moses is still mowing people down. Ronnie Stanley is crazy good in the run game. Our weakest link on the offensive line is left guard. Simpson still struggles. I
Yeah,
you know
we gotta change that, man, next year in this offseason. He's an issue. We expected big
you know
things from him as well.
we did and because he didn't play at all in the preseason. They just gave them left guard. And
They sure did.
I honestly thought that yesterday they were going to go to Ben Cleveland,
Yeah. And
for left
Cleveland's
guard.
played well when he's gotten in there, and I've been hard on him all season, but he's
Yeah,
played well.
so have I. He's
Mm,
he's I honestly thought that he should have probably been our left guard halfway through the year, but they stuck with Simpson. Harbaugh is how he is, barring injury. Um, I, I'm excited to see this matchup now with Kansas City. I think it's going to be one of those games where people expect this to be a scoring frenzy, but I'm telling you right now, Mahomes has good players, but he doesn't have the weapons that he's used to. We got something for Kelsey. We got something for Pacheco. Pacheco's not running on us the way he runs on anybody else. He runs
no.
hard. He runs angry, but this defense is smothering. They are absolutely balls to the wall. There's always two or three hats around the ball whenever there's a play being made. They hit hard. Hamilton looked fantastic again yesterday. That dude is that dude. Did you see him smack Nico Collins early in the game, coming
Oh,
up
he
out of the
cracked him
secondary?
coming up.
He's
I sure did. He's a beast, man.
he's smacking dudes. Roquan is just throwing his body around out there. I love watching Roquan play. Queen even had a hell of a game yesterday. Queen had got beat on one pass play that I was just kind of like, come on, motherfucker, make a play. Other than that, I was cool. The entire Marcus Williams made a play with his bad arm yesterday. I was like, where the hell has that been? Like he's good at breaking up passes, but he can't tackle. And Gino had another solid game yesterday. Malik Harrison had a lot of playtime yesterday. I noticed.
Yeah, he's been
He's
playing quite a bit this season. He's really good against the run, man. He
very good
sets
against
the
the
edge.
run.
He sets the edge well.
He's the replacement for Van Noy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he's like him. Like when Van Noy needs a breather, they've been throwing Harrison in there, and I like how Harrison's played.
Me
Can't
too, absolutely.
But Clowney, I know I'm circling back to Clowney again. That dude was hyped up. He was making plays. He suplexed the running back one time. I think he suplexed Singletary.
He was all over. We destroyed their offensive line, which that was one of my keys to the game. Was our keys to the game was because their offensive line's undersized and very unproven. I mean, Stroud literally did nothing yesterday. He made 2 or 3 plays throughout the entire game. They should have only had 3 points. Like I said, special teams scored. He had no chance, man. He had no chance.
There was
No
an
chance.
interesting graphic that ESPN brought up. Other than that, I think 11 or 12 yard run from Singletary, he averaged 0.7 yards a carry. And for the modern NFL and the way that teams score and how the rules are catered to the offense and the quarterback and the wide receivers especially, holding teams to 17 points a game is almost the equivalent to the 2000-esque defense where they were holding teams to 10 points a game. I don't care what anybody says. This is an elite defense, and this is going to be one of the most historic Ravens defenses to ever go down in the history of the game, and they're proving it week in and week out. These guys are unstoppable. They gave up
Especially if
3
they win
points.
that Super Bowl.
Yes.
Especially if they win the Super Bowl. That helps cement your legacy. Yeah, of course. Listen, man, our Super Bowls are 12 years apart. This is 12 years exactly from the last Super Bowl. Let's get there and get it. Fuck the Chiefs.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be a fantastic,
Let's get to Sunday now. Let's play that. I wish the game was on tomorrow.
So do I. We're going to hear all week about Mahomes going on the road to beat Buffalo, and they're going to be loving on Mahomes. But
of course. And Lamar's just going to be sitting back, being quiet. Okay. Like he's done all year.
Nobody on the Chiefs offense really strikes fear to me at all. Kelsey's good. I like Travis Kelce when he's not playing us. He doesn't bother me. McCole Hardman, they didn't even give a shit about it, keeping him, and he went to the Jets and with Aaron Rodgers, and then they cut him midway through the year and they brought him back. They don't have Juju Smith-Schuster. They don't have Tyreek Hill. They got decent wide receivers. Rashee Rice is good, but there's nobody on that offense. I'm like, oh, what the hell? And you can tell
Rice is okay when he's catching the ball. He has a lot of drops too.
Yeah, he does. And Mahomes is now in that part of his career where he's bitching about calls all the time. So he's in his Brady era, and
because when you're winning Super Bowls and you're winning nonstop, man, you're not used to losing anymore. You can't handle it. So you start naturally whining, I guess. But I tell you what, he better buck up his chin strap. He better if he gets out of here with a win next weekend, he's going to have earned it, or we're going to have gotten fucked somehow because they're going to be looking to kill this dude.
Yeah, because the last couple of times we've had to see Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, it's been in Arrowhead, and now it's a different ball game. This is a completely different ball game. I'm convinced that they are going to have hell coming in here. I don't care if it's 50 degrees next weekend. I don't care if it's 60. I don't care if it's
52. 10. 52.
Yeah, that's a good omen right there. 52.
52.
I'm loving this. It's going to be one of those situations where the Ravens have a chance to cement their legacy as being one of the greatest teams in this franchise's history. And like you said, both teams that we could possibly see in the Super Bowl, we blew both of them out in a matter of a month apart. And I know that they're rolling right now over in Detroit's offense is good today. I'm not going to deny that. But San Francisco, they barely scraped by at home against Green Bay. And we got their number. Brock Purdy doesn't want to see us again. And I doubt Goff wants to see us again.
So, no, like I said, man, the only way this would be us beating ourselves. And I've never said that before about a Ravens team, because I've always felt like going up against teams we were going up against may have been better. We had to play our best game, but now I feel like this is the first time I've ever said this with a Ravens team. Like it's the only way we are not holding that trophy is if we do it to ourselves. because they are leaps and bounds above every other team in this league. And I don't think that's crazy to say. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL, and they blew everyone out. They shouldn't even have lost. Think about that. We have not got legitimately beat this entire season. Yeah, we got 3 losses for whatever. Pittsburgh, we didn't start anyone. The Colts, I don't know. Harbaugh had a brain fart with clock management. That game was over. So, we gave that win away. All of them were stupidness that we did. So, man, the Chiefs, we would have to play our worst game, and the Chiefs would have to play their best game ever. We got to come out and just do what we've been doing all year. I don't care about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not even going to watch all this junk all week, to be honest with you. I'm about to turn it off. Yeah, fuck them. I just didn't want. The only thing I don't want is all this Taylor drama shit.
You know what? Our daughter's gonna be heartbroken when we take out Kelsey and Swifty and all that bullshit.
Yeah, Swifty's gonna be leaving here crying.
Yep. I'm sure he'll be able to go home and cry into the shoulder of his $1 billion.
Oh, bro, he's a bro. Like today, like he scored a touchdown and he's doing this and shit up to the nerd. A nerd.
But yeah, man, that should do it for the show, man. It's been a good one. Got right down to business with the breakdown. Not really much to complain about. Not much to bitch about. Well-rounded game. A slow start, but hey, that was the rest for us more than anything else. We'll be back. We have a couple of shows this week. We'll have some guests on from the Kansas City Chiefs side of the things, at some point this week to preview the game. We also have our Royal Rumble show coming up this week, our Royal Rumble prediction show for Saturday night, bud. And we got a packed weekend. We're watching the Rumble together, and we're going to be playing Sunday at 3:00. So go ahead and sign us off, brother.
All right, Ravens fans, just try to enjoy this. This doesn't come around often, so enjoy it. And let's get ready for the Chiefs, man. I cannot wait for next weekend to start. That's all I got, bro. I'm just happy. I want to add another ring to the case.
I want to add another ring to our background picture, too. Oh, my God. What did you do? Never mind. Okay.
There we go. We are back. You guys almost got a ball shot there.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I don't give free ball shots. That's on my OnlyFans.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right,
thank you, everybody, for tuning in and commenting. We love our followers. And
JoshNew.com, OnlyFans.com.
Bye, Joshua.
Night.